I don't know if you're listening. Good evening and welcome to Skip Pope Memorial Stadium for tonight's matchup of Sequoyah Chiefs versus the Meadowcreek Mustangs. In football's highly anticipated return to Chiefs TV, we bring you a spring scrimmage between two Region 7 teams, Sequoyah being in 6A and Meadowcreek being in 7A.
These lights, we saw Sequoyah play Riverwood back in October. It was the last time we saw them. But enough about last season. Tonight we have our first matchup of the 2022-23 season. And although this game won't count for either team's record, it should be a fun night to watch some talented players play.
That's exactly right. It's certainly a good night for a broadcast, as tonight we'll watch a couple teams with a lot to prove coming off of last season. Sequoyah finished at 4-6 overall and 2-5 in region matchups, and Meadowcreek finished at 5-6. However, they did go 5-2 in regional play. Max, give the folks at home a quick recap of Sequoiah's season last year.
Of course, Will. Sequoyah began last year with an impressive 28-0 shutout against Woodstock. Then they fell to Cherokee by 1 point in a game that came down to the wire. Last play, we all remember, but won't talk about it. Sequoyah then traveled to Cass, where they came out victorious with a 37-23 victory against the Colonels. Sequoiah's next 3 games saw them go from 2-1 to 2-4 with 3 straight losses against Johns Creek, Creekview, and Cambridge, only scoring 27 points through that span. Sequoyah bounced back with a big 44-7 win against Chattahoochee, then fell to River Ridge and Riverwood consecutively. The Chiefs closed out the year on a strong note with a commanding 42-14 away win against Centennial. However, the Chiefs did miss out in the playoffs.
And Max, in our interview with Coach Teeter earlier this week, we talked about how Sequoyah can be a very streaky team, and he said that it's important to maintain the energy in the locker room and at practices. We've seen each of the past 2 years especially that Sequoyah has gone on winning and losing streaks. How can Sequoyah combat this year and play with more consistency?
Well, I think the biggest part of that is going to be with the new teams Sequoyah is facing this year. For those of you who don't know, GSHA regions get realigned every 2 years, so that the past 2 years where Sequoyah has been streaky could be in part to their schedule. That being said, Sequoyah is going to be facing some really tough teams this season in Lambert and Alatoona. Additionally, Sequoyah will be facing their Cherokee County rivals in River Ridge and Creekview. That always gives Sequoyah a win for their money.
And I know when we interviewed the players and coaches on Media Day, they all sounded really excited to be facing the new teams. They acknowledged that it was going to be a tough road to the playoffs, but they also mentioned how this region is still very much up for grabs.
Yeah, you're right, Will. And another thing to think about is that Sequoiah's region is being shrunk this year from 8 teams last year to 7 teams this year.
Certainly a lot to think about for the Chiefs this fall, but for now let's shift our attention back to the task at hand, the spring game between the Chiefs and the Mustangs. You know, Max, something that Coach Jack Mine mentioned is how much of a learning experience spring games can be for the players, but also, and even more so, the coaches.
Yeah, indeed. The scrimmages like these and spring games like these help coaches decide who to play in what positions, as well as what plays to incorporate, what kinds of plays to incorporate during the regular season.
And not only that, Coach Jack Mine also teased that Sequoyah is going to try more in-the-air plays this year, and that can only mean nothing but passing plays.
Yeah, but for your Wing T fans out there, don't worry. While Sequoyah might be trying more passing plays, that does not mean they're getting rid of their main source of offense, their Wing T offense, anytime soon.
And now we're going to send it back down to the field, as we don't know quite who has won the coin toss yet.
But there's a lot of talent on this field tonight. This is going to be a very entertaining spring game.
Yeah, and again, as you said, both sides of the ball for sure. Although the Chiefs did lose a lot of big senior names.
Yeah, they lost a lot, yeah.
They do have a very, very good senior class, highlighted by Cruz Wright, Alex Conti, Ridley Joseph, Ty Moores, Ben Sanders, Cameron Massey, Ty Ogundele, and Jimmy Anderson. So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, that senior class, that had, like, Avery Bourne, just to name one person, that had, like, a ton of talent.
Jack Pye scores, yes, Peyton Lucas.
I mean, we lost Matthew Trainer last year. We lost a lot of people over this offseason. But this upcoming rising senior class is a big physical group of kids who are ready to play some football.
And not only that, we also have a lot of, obviously every year we have a new class of freshmen coming in. And, you know, freshmen don't usually get a ton of playing time on varsity, but I think there is some guys that will definitely be able to step up into that role. And also some juniors that we're going to have next year. Brady Curl, Jackson Hancock, Chris Jordan, some big names there on the defense and offense. Yep.
So Meadowcreek is going to get the ball. start off the game. So a good kickoff by Sequoyah, but Meadowcreek fair catches it, and they're going to get the ball at the 25-yard line.
And Max, going back to a couple years when we had Jose Zarita as our kicker, last year we saw kicking be a little bit of something that Sequoyah struggled with, but a nice early kickoff there. You know, we saw Sequoyah miss some extra points and some field goals, so that'll be something Sequoyah will be looking to improve in this game.
Yeah, kicking was a struggle last year, to say the least, but now it is the Mustangs' ball to open up the spring game, a sneak peek into their 2022-23 season, and a great play on the ball.
A big defensive stop by Ty Moores, and that was one of the names we mentioned pregame. You know, we talked about in media day, we talked about his physicality, and we asked him how that impacted him on both offense and defense because he plays both sides of the ball, and he just says that it was a really funny response. He said, if you're more physical than the guy across on the line, you're going to win, period. And
exactly.
He just won right there.
And he was saying that you're going to see some physicality you haven't seen in a while from this front seven. We're seeing it quickly. 2nd and 10 for the Mustangs, and a great tackle by, that's going to be Jackson Hancock getting there quickly to take down Andre Craig, the rising senior.
Hancock, another name we're going to be talking about a lot. Again, we mentioned him pregame. And we also asked him in his media day interview, because he plays on both sides of the ball. So we asked him how he is able to improve on both defense and offense. And he just mentioned how when offense feeds off defense and defense feeds off offense, so when he combines them, he just becomes the best that he can be.
Early 3rd down and 12. Ellis scrambles to the left. A hail, and he throws it up. Caught by Keyshawn Singleton. The star wide receiver is going. He is going. Finally tackled inside the Chiefs' 10. What a catch by Singleton, and what a way to use his feet, get out of the pocket by Ellis. And the Mustangs are in hurry up.
Yeah, I mean, those were two great plays to start it off there for the Chiefs by Moores and Hancock, two early tackles where we saw them just read that Meadowcreek play early, but Ellis able to find a wide open Singleton. And Singleton is a name that we're going to be talking about a lot on the Mustang side of the ball.
Tackle by Brendan Darling, saved a touchdown there. Now it's 1st and goal from about the 4. Ellis in the shotgun. Motion coming from the left. He's gonna hand it off to Jordan Louie, and he finally gets tackled behind the line by an army of Chiefs. And Jackson Hancock credited with the tackle. 2nd and goal from the 10 for Meadowcreek. 2 negative plays already on this first drive. And Jordan Louie is a huge name for the Mustangs. Offers from a variety of colleges. And the Mustangs have people on all across the board who have offers from many Power 5 schools. Ellis steps back on a pass to Louie in the flat, and he's going to get by the Chief defender, and he is in. First drive touchdown for the Mustangs. And that is a quick score for Meadowcreek.
And, you know, as good of a Chiefs defense as we have here, they have to remember that Meadowcreek is a very talented team. We talked about how many offers they have. I mean, one player alone has 12 offers, and we'll be talking a lot more about Rayvon Johnson. But Meadowcreek is a very talented team, but I think the Sequoyah defense did a very good job of locking down. You know, those first 2 plays were really good, and then they got kind of exposed there on that big passing play.
Andre Craig credited the touchdown. The kicker slips, but it is up and good. By, I believe, to be Donald Whitting. So it is 7-zip early for the Mustangs as they capitalize on a huge passing play down the middle on a kind of a broken play. And that's 7-0. Chiefs going to get the ball now.
And, you know, we saw Scoggins warming up a little bit pregame in that quarterback spot. But seeing as this is a spring game, there's probably going to be multiple people.
As the kick is up, and the Chiefs are going to get the ball for the first time tonight. Tyler Bell calls for the fair catch inside the 25. Inside the 25, the Chiefs are going to get the ball at the 30. 1st and 10 for Sequoyah. And we'll see which quarterback we get out there first. Nesbitt, Scoggins.
Looks like it's going to be Scoggins for the first drive. Scoggins wearing number 15. The Chiefs wearing their gray jerseys tonight with the yellow lettering.
So Scoggins under center. Bell motions to the right. He's going to hand it off to Chimanda, and he gets swallowed. That first play, prime example of how quick Meadowcreek is and how quickly the Mustangs can get to one spot. It's insane. So that's going to be about 2nd and 9 now, 2nd and 8 for Sequoyah. Still gained 2 yards.
And Max, a couple guys to really look for on the offensive side of the ball are going to be Cruz Wright and then Asante Chimanda, who we saw on that one. You know, Peyton Lucas was the big running back that Sequoyah had the past 3 or 4 seasons, really. And, you know, obviously with Sequoyah using that wing T on offense, that's a very run-heavy and run-focused offense. So Cruz Wright is going to be, we're thinking that main running back with Asante Chimanda also being part of that running game.
So a little stoppage there by the refs. I think some players had to come out for some reason, but now it's going to be 2nd and 8. And there's a flag thrown. Let's see what it is. I think it might have been some early movement by the Chiefs. I think it's going to be a false start. Yes, false start in the Chiefs. That's going to knock him back to a 2nd and 13 early. The rising sophomore Scoggins is going to have to come up with something here to make it a manageable 3rd down. Chiefs at the 18. And the ball's on the floor. Let's see who has it.
It looks like Scoggins was able to jump down on that. And I believe the refs are going to say he did.
Yes.
I don't think that's going to be a loss or a gain, so it'll be 3rd and 13 coming up now.
I think they actually lost 2 yards. That's going to make it a much harder 3rd down. 3rd and 15 from their own 25. Scoggins under center, trying to gain something here. See if they go through the air, and they will. Scoggins to the left, launches it down the field, but it's intercepted. Keyshawn Singleton dusts a player. Is trying to wiggle his way, and he gets to the Chiefs 40. Scores a touchdown, gets a pick. That is Singleton for you.
The intended receiver on that one was Ian Mariah, and it was a good throw by Scoggins,
Honestly,
but really
yeah.
Singleton was able to kind of just moss him there, honestly. Just use his height over Mariah to snag that ball from under him. If Mariah had caught that, it would have been a 1st down, but instead it is for Meadowcreek even has a chance to snap the ball.
Yeah. That's going to be 1st and 15 on the Sequoyah 46. Good starting field position for the Mustangs. A fake handoff, and he passes it to Singleton, who gets swallowed up but is breaking through. Even after all those Chiefs at the end, he gets to a gain of 5. Going to be 2nd and 10. Singleton, a real star right now for the Mustangs.
Yeah, nice job by Singleton to just power through. He was dragging 2 or 3 guys along with him, but he was able to get to the line of scrimmage.
Ellis hands it off to Louis, but he is caught quickly. The Chiefs' run defense is showing up right now. As Ty Moore says, his front 7 is playing physical. 3rd down, and I believe 9. 3rd down and 8. Let's see what the Chiefs can do. See if they can hold them. We saw last time on the 3rd down, Singleton got away with a huge gain. Singleton collegiate offers to Purdue, Georgia Tech, Purdue, Mississippi State, and Arkansas.
To name a few.
Yeah, to name a few. A true star outplaying receiver right now as Ellis gets the handoff. Chiefs are surrounding him right now. He throws it out to Andre Craig, but he's going to get tackled, and then another extracurricular activity going on with between a Chief and a Mustang.
Looks like Ben Sanders got caught up in that a little bit.
Ben Sanders and I believe Andrew King, the junior. And Teeter and the ref having a conversation about what the flag was about, I believe. I think whether he's going to accept the flag. That's going to be a personal foul declined. So that's going to bring up 4th down after a great defensive stop by the Chiefs.
Again, nice job by Sanders to read that play quickly and tackle them before Craig even had a chance to make any forward progress there. So it's going to be 4th and
about 12 for the Mustangs as the Chiefs come up with a great stop there after giving up a. That's a much better start from last drive.
And you know, when we interviewed Coach Teeter just about kind of the wing T offense and what he was looking for in a new quarterback, he mentioned how, you know, he's not looking for someone who necessarily has to go out and get these big plays every time. A 4-yard gain for them is a good play, and that's kind of speaks to what the wing T offense is.
Scoggins hands it off to Hancock, who gets swallowed up in the backfield. Tackled by Darian Cordero from the Mustangs, and that's going to make it 2nd and 12.
And going back to that point I was making, he mentioned how even a 4-yard gain is a good play for them because they're not one of those teams that will get the touchdown on the 1st down every time. They work the clock slowly, string together multiple plays to get down to the end zone. And, you know, anything really after 4 or 5 yards is a bonus, and a bonus that Coach Teeter's going to want every time.
Scoggins fakes the handoff, a pass short to Chimanda, but he is going to get swallowed up about the line of scrimmage, a gain of 1. And Chimanda, first reception of the season, gains a yard. Good pass by Scoggins. There was a Mustang going right after him. Collected as this rising sophomore. That's going to be 3rd and 10 from the Chiefs, from their very own 42. Motion backfield by Hancock, and that's going to be offsides. And the Mustangs, a little lack of concentration. They see Hancock moving, and they move too. Let's see what the call is. Offsides on the Mustangs. And Meadowcreek gives up some free yardage.
So all the penalties in this game so far outside of that personal foul from Meadowcreek have been pre-snap penalties. So both teams feeling a little anxious here.
But that was
wanted to get ready before the snap.
Yeah. I mean, it's a spring game. Why wouldn't they be anxious? First time putting the pads on in a while.
Yeah, a lot of the players did say that they were looking forward to putting on the pads because they hadn't put them on since, I think we said it was October.
3rd and 5 now for the Chiefs. See if they can convert for the first time today. Hancock, a gap, trying to get past the Mustangs, but he gets caught after 3 yards.
And he nearly had the run there, but Javon Bally of Meadowcreek was able to wrap him up. Hancock was just a couple steps away, so nice tackle and read by Bally there.
Yeah, good tackle by Bailey there. And that's going to be a 4th down and 2 for Sequoyah. Scoggins in the huddle calling a play, and they're going to run this 4th down. Coach Teeter going for it. Here it goes. On the 50-yard line, need 2. Hand off to Hancock, and he is going to be just there. I think he might have gotten short. And he is not going to get it. Turnover on downs.
1 yard short. That's too bad. And, you know, we saw Meadowcreek go for a 4th down on their last play. And, again, obviously Sequoyah going for it there. And that's something we're probably going to see a lot of, as this is just a spring game, so record doesn't matter. But, you know, we did see Sequoyah go for a 4th down and be pretty successful last season. I know at one point they started off 4 for 4 on the season for 4th down conversions. And, you know, if you are getting into the late portions of a game and you need to go for it on 4th down, Sequoyah had a good conversion record. So that's something that Coach Teeter can definitely use in late in game if he needs to, and obviously practice here in the spring game like he already has.
So here goes Meadowcreek back onto the field. A big stop by the Chiefs on last possession forced him to punt. So Ellis on his 3rd time around is going to step back in the pocket. A blitz of Chiefs coming, But there is a Mustang open downfield, but is overthrown. Defense.
Andre Craig was the intended receiver on that. Nice coverage by Ridley Joseph.
Ridley Joseph, the senior. He is going to have a great season.
Craig had Joseph beat there.
Yeah.
It was almost too good of a throw from Ellis, the quarterback.
A little miscommunication there, a little overthrow by Ellis. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10 from the 49 of Meadowcreek. .333 left in the first quarter as Meadowcreek, Ellis in the shotgun. And handoff to Louie, and he's going to wait a little bit, and he's going to run through a bunch of Chiefs to get 9.
Yeah, he found a gap there. At
8,
first, he went right up the middle, and it looked like he was going to get stopped before he could even gain anything. And then he was patient, went to the left side, and was able to pick up some yardage.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Louie, and honestly, most of these running backs for Meadowcreek, they're patient. They can read gaps really well. They are college-style quarterbacks, running backs, who just know where to run, when to run, and what to wait for. As Ellis in the shotgun with a snap, blitzing Chiefs galore, but that's going to be a completed pass to Onteus Stokes.
Brought down by Nathan Pruitt right after the catch.
Flag. Let's see what the call is. This could be pretty huge, as that was first down for Meadowcreek. Could push him back. We're waiting for the call. Here comes Mr. Ref. It's going to be holding on the offense. A big call, as that's going to ignore the results of that pass play and push him back a decent amount.
That's a really big break for Sequoyah. Meadowcreek was about to be
at the
play. Sequoyah 40 or 35, and they got pushed back all the way to their own 45, basically.
They had a 3rd and 2, and now they're back to about a 3rd and 21.
Yeah, I think that's right. 21, yeah, I believe you're right.
Coach Wofford calls a timeout from the Mustangs. And that's one person we have not talked about yet. Coach Wofford, this is going to be his first year as head coach for Meadowcreek. He has lots of experience, had 10 years at Central Gwinnett High School, got a great program there. Then went to Collins Hill, where been a decent amount of false start and offsides flags early.
It looked like Cole Jordan went across the line for Sequoyah, but he was pointing at Meadowcreek, and it looks like they're going to say Meadowcreek jumped the gun a little bit early, so it's going to be 3rd and even longer now.
Yeah, like 3rd and 26. Mustangs are self-imploding right now. And now Ellis is going to have to launch one up, hoping for another play like he had with Singleton earlier in the game.
They've lost almost half their field positioning just on a couple penalties.
Yeah, 4 receivers out wide, motion coming from the left. And they're going to hand it off to Louie, see if he can do some magic on the ground. He did as much as he could, gains about 8, but not enough.
And Ty Moores was on Louie right after the snap. You saw Louie just shift to the left a little bit and shake Ty Moores off as he dove for the tackle.
And that's the thing about Ty Moores. He just has a knowledge of the game. He recognizes the big players. He studies like crazy. He knows what to look for on every play, every player, what their ability is. And great read by Moores to bring up a 4th down.
And Max, a big part of that is because he's been able to be a starting tight end since his sophomore year, and that was something we asked him about, and he said that just knowing the field helps a lot before games. Again, even with reading the plays, all that experience really helps.
That's going to be a punt. Whiting to Hancock, and he's going to fair catch at about the 28, 29. And that's going to be Chiefs ball, another consecutive stop. And they're looking to get some offensive production now, as they were close last possession, got it to a 4th and 1, turnover on downs. Let's see if they can at least get a 1st down this time. They got one last possession, but let's see if they can keep it going.
And Max, as it is a spring game, neither team wants to get anybody injured, so I think on all these punts we're going to be seeing tonight, it's just going to be snap it, everyone stand still, fair catch, and get the next side of the offense, or get the next side of the team out on the field.
Yeah, on offense and defense is you're really trying to learn your plays on punting. So you're just the punter and a whole lot of hitting up front. So understandably, they're gonna not the teams are gonna
Try to avoid any
yeah,
injury.
and that's gonna be a timeout for Sequoyah.
And Coach Cheater's going to stay with Coach Cheater's staying with Hunter Scoggins as the quarterback for now. This might change later. Again, Scoggins is not the starting quarterback yet for the fall by any means. That still hasn't been released. We'll probably see multiple people play at that quarterback position.
Yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see. We asked Coach Cheater what he was looking for in a quarterback. Obviously, he wasn't gonna give anything up, but he was talking about a hard worker, someone who's coming to the gym every day, to the field every day, who's ready to work and give it all for their team.
And he also mentioned how everyone who is being considered for that spot has been doing all of those things. So it really is a close battle for that quarterback spot. And, you know, we might even see something like we had a couple years ago where there's multiple people who are subbed into the quarterback spot in game. You know, depending on the situation, that can be really a versatile weapon for a coach to have, is the ability to sub in multiple quarterbacks that you know can both get the job done. Because you can use some in certain situations and then some in others.
Yeah. I mean, I love that idea. It can be a great advantage, but kind of be a threat too. One QB could get momentum and be taken right out. We'll see what Coach Cheater decides to do late in the season. And that's going to be a little jump from the Mustangs. But Scoggins going to look for the sign from the sideline. Scoggins under center. First down and 10. A handoff early to, I believe,
I think that's going to be Chimanda again.
Yeah.
So Chimanda getting handed that ball up the middle a lot, and he's producing as well. Gotten quite a few rushing yards already.
And I believe we've seen a lot more Asante Chimanda than Cruz Wright early, which is interesting. Maybe Cruz Wright is going to get more later in the game.
And something to note is that Cameron Massey just went onto the field, and he's our leading receiver, and you can see him out on that far hash, so we might see a passing play coming up next.
Yeah, he hasn't been targeted all game yet. Ben Sanders in motion. That's going to be Chimanda again, and he's going to get more than enough for a first down. After a second and 3, they're going to gain 5. That's going to be a first down Chiefs. A good set of running there by Sequoyah. That's a Chief-style possession, Chief-style set of downs right there. It's going to be 1:40 left in the first quarter.
Still 7-0 Mustangs. Haven't scored. Neither team has scored since that very first possession of the game by Meadowcreek.
Scoggins, fake handoff. He's going to be rolling to his right, a pass.
It's going to be Javon Salazar, I believe, on the catch, and his helmet comes off on that other sideline.
That's going to be about a gain of 4 or 5. Good first play there by the
Regardless, Chiefs get the first down.
Second down and 4. And here we go. Chiefs coming to the ball. 1:28 left. 7-0, like you said, Will. Mustangs still lead, but only score on their first possession, have been scoreless since, and Chiefs looking for their first points. Handoff to Hancock, and he sees a hole, and he's going to gain about 7 or 6. Great.
I think he got the first down on that one.
Yeah. And the Chiefs are
a nice run for Hancock. They're in business.
Yeah, the Chiefs are pounding on the ground, and they are tiring out these Mustangs right now, finding the gaps.
And that's exactly what the wing tee offense is designed to do, is tire the opponent while also bleeding out the clock and not giving the opponent the opportunity to be able to score or enough time to score. And we've seen Coach Jackmine draw up 3 different plays with 3 different running backs. We saw Chimanda, we saw Hancock.
And we've seen Bell. Bell had that huge gain earlier. And that's going to be, I believe, a timeout. I think the play clock was running down as a timeout for Sequoyah. So a pretty successful drive coming to a halt right now. First down and 10 for Sequoyah on the Meadowcreek 47-yard line. This is their first time getting into the Mustangs territory this whole game. So a promising drive right now. as the Chiefs getting some water. And obviously with a quarterback who this is his first high school game playing as the QB, I think you're going to have some emotion, have some thoughts just running through his head. Scoggins lost track of time there. Jack Mine frustrated, but he had to call that timeout to avoid penalty. And the Chiefs and the Mustangs back on the field. First down and 10 from the Meadowcreek 47.
And we mentioned how we've already seen a few different guys step into that running back position. And I think the main reason is because Sequoyah lost their top 3 rushers based on rushing yards per game in Lucas, Piescores, and Trainer. So Jack Mine's going to try out a lot of different guys, see who he can give the ball most.
Hancock with motion, but it's a fake, and Scoggins going to look to the sideline for a play from Jack Mine. Scoggins under center. Hand off to Chimanda, and he sees a huge hole, and he's going to gain about 7. And the Chiefs' running game is working right now. Meadowcreek cannot figure it out.
A lot of bonus yardage for the Chiefs. As we mentioned, 4 yards is what Coach Teeter's looking for on every running play, but Chiefs are getting 7 to 8 combined with Hancock and Chimanda.
And that's the thing about the wing tee too, and how Coach Teeter runs it. You don't know. There's so many running threats. No matter what personnel he has on the field, you don't know who to look out for. It's just an amazing group of running backs the Chiefs have.
And that can also kind of help to fake out the defense because they don't know who exactly is going to get the ball. So they'll be really having their heads on a swivel.
Yeah, and all at the same time, Scoggins could keep it and throw, but instead it's going to be a run, and that's going to end the first quarter. So the run to Javon Salazar gains enough for the first down, and that's going to be how the Chiefs end it after the first quarter. 7-0 is the score at the end of one. Obviously, Meadowcreek had that huge explosive drive to open the game, but ever since then, the Chiefs' run game has really locked it down.
You're absolutely right. No scoring since that first possession where Meadowcreek, again, did come out with guns a-blazing, scored within a minute or two.
Yeah, I think it was within like 2 minutes.
But we got to remember also that the Chiefs defense had 2 really good plays to start the game, and then they were just taking advantage a little bit of when Ellis heaved it down the field to Singleton. And let's talk a little bit more about Singleton and Ravon Johnson, who we haven't talked about enough. Between those 2 kids, I believe there's somewhere around 20-plus offers, I think is the number.
And if you include Champ Johnson in there, and basically the whole team, there is dozens of Power 5 schools interested in these Mustangs.
That's right. They're not just like small colleges.
Yeah.
There's some, again, Power 5
offers,
SEC schools interested in these people. A lot of talent on this Meadowcreek team. And it was a team that went 5-5 last year, and then 5-6 added on with the regional playoff game that they lost to Roswell. So a lot of talent on this Mustangs team, and right now Sequoyah is keeping up with them very well.
Yeah, and so we've seen Singleton out there. We've seen Louie out there, and Bailey, who has a couple offers, but I'm pretty sure Champ Thompson is not playing this game, and I have not seen Ravon Johnson out there on the field yet.
Yeah, if he was playing, I'm sure we would have called his name a few times by now.
So maybe they're just trying to save him up.
He could be just giving other guys some chances right now, some reps.
So the field has been flipped, and now the Chiefs are going to resume play. Second quarter action. Scoggins with a handoff to Hancock, and he wiggles his way through defenders to gain 2. It's going to be second down and 8 from the 35 of Meadowcreek, their best field position so far, as the Chiefs looking to capitalize on their 4th possession. A lot of runs this drive. I think we might have seen one pass, maybe a short pass. But that's it, no long plays, as Coach Teeter said. Trying to grind it out. Hand off to Scoggins, fakes it. But here come the Mustangs. They launch it downfield, and it is intercepted again. Singleton, once again, using his speed and long strides, shrugging off Chief defenders. He is carrying a whole defender, fumbles the ball.
And he recovers it himself, I believe.
I saw the Chief helmet right there. I do believe it might have been recovered by Singleton, however. He was carrying players.
The intended receiver on that one was Ty Moores. And on the last interception, we talked about how it was a really good throw, but Ian Mariah was maybe just a little bit shorter than Singleton, and Singleton just kind of reached right over him.
Yeah, that one was a great idea. Scoggins saw him downfield. That one was just overthrown a tad bit, and a player like Singleton is going to read that and get that every time.
Yeah, we saw Ty Morris outstretched there, doing everything he could, was not able to haul that one in. And if he had been, it might have been even a touchdown if he had fallen back into the end zone. So a great offensive attempt for Sequoyah ends in an interception, the second of the night for Scoggins.
Yeah, that was a great drive. Up until that passing play, that was a great drive. They were running the ball really well. They were having their way against this front seven for the Mustangs, but now the ball has been officially recovered by Singleton, and Meadowcreek is going to have the ball on the Sequoyah on the Meadowcreek 41. Ellis in the shotgun, hands it off to Louis, and he works his way around Willie Joseph, and he is dragging defenders and gets all the way past the first down marker. Physical running by Louis.
Yeah, a lot of these guys on Meadowcreek are really able to stay in it when they're running. I thought he was tackled a couple yards short, and then he popped right back up and kept on going. And that wasn't the first time that I've seen those guys on Meadowcreek just really power through those tackles, even dragging 2 or 3 Chiefs with them every time.
Yeah, we saw Singleton on that pick. He was dragging some players. We've seen Meadowcreek show some brute strength so far. Ellis in the shotgun, motion coming from the right, pardon me. It's going to be a handoff to Andre Craig, and he's going to attack on the backfield by a barrage of Chiefs. Finally tackled by Cameron Massey. He's playing defense right now. That's strong safety, but there is a flag. Holding for Meadowcreek.
Penalties really killing Meadowcreek so far.
Yeah, I mean, penalties are really what is keeping Sequoyah in the game right now. I mean, their defense, the run defense has really showed up and really come up in crucial spots. But these penalties, man, Meadowcreek is shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, if you remember Meadowcreek's second possession of the game, they were like at the 30-yard line, and then they had
like a 2nd and 26 at one point.
Yeah, they got drawn back 25 yards after 2 penalties in a row where they weren't even able to snap the ball.
And now it's about, I don't know, a 2nd and 25, I mean 1st and 25, but Louis is showing off his skills. 5 Chiefs have to come to get him, and there is another flag. Massey and I believe that was Darian Cordero got a little bit physical out in the secondary. Let's see what this flag is. 9:57 left in the second. 7-0 Meadowcreek. It's going to be holding once again on the offense. And they are pushing him back even farther. Teeter taking the yards, and that is going to be even more. Actually, just a loss of 1 from the spot of the foul. My bad.
Still, though, 1 yard's 1 yard.
Yeah. Now it's about I think it's about maybe a 1st and 26.
It is still first down, though, and we've seen Meadowcreek put together a couple of large passing plays, so they could get out of this in just 2 plays.
But the Chiefs are looking to blitz right now. They've been looking to blitz all game, and they get there. Look at that.
That's going to be Tayo Agundale and Nathan Pruitt.
They get
combining for the sack on that one.
Yeah. We've seen Buddy liking the blitz all game. We've been seeing them get really close to Ellis. And Trayshawn Bell is the first victim in the backfield.
I know you've called out a couple times, Max, that Sequoyah was showing blitz, but Meadowcreek was able to dance around him with their great running game. But that time, Sequoyah was too fast for him. We're able to get a sack.
Ellis in the shotgun. 2nd and maybe 27.
That is going to be false start on Nathan Pruitt, I believe. I think I saw him jump forward.
Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be offsides.
That's another thing we've seen multiple times this game is a lot of players just being a little bit anxious and
Yeah.
jumping forward before the ball is snapped.
I mean, it's a spring game. What can you say? But too many of them just is going to ruin your team's chances.
So Meadowcreek on the receiving end of the benefit of a penalty that time.
2nd and 23. Ellis, a pass to the flats. And that is going to be Javon Bailey, a huge, huge gain after the catch. Got close to that first down marker, making up a lot of yards. Let's see where they spot it. That man working the yard marker is running, and that's going to be.
It's not just the physicality on the Meadowcreek side of the ball; it's also the speed. I mean, we saw after Bailey made that catch, he was trailed by 4 or 5 Chiefs before he was finally tackled.
It's going to be 3rd and about 4 for Meadowcreek. Ellis sees Singleton, and Singleton is off to the races. Oh my goodness, a hurdle over Ben Sanders. And there is a flag on the field.
You cannot leave someone like Singleton all alone. He was all by himself. Sequoyah thought they were going a deeper passing play than they were, and that left Singleton able to just be drawn out, and he just hurdled Ben Sanders. That was pretty impressive. Ben Sanders stands at 6'1",
Yeah,
so
that's not easy.
That's a big hurdle right there.
I mean,
there is a flag on the play, though.
Yeah, there is. I don't know where the call is. The refs are having a conversation.
So a highlight reel play may be nullified here.
Yeah. He might still use it, though. You never know. I believe, what is it? It's going to be personal foul on the offense. That's going to knock him back. Yeah, and definitely reduce some of those yards gained by Singleton. 7-0 still. The Chiefs are still in this ball game, no matter how many flashy plays Meadowcreek has.
That's the 2nd personal foul call on Meadowcreek this game.
Yeah.
Foul's really, really killing them here. That would have put them in great field position.
Yeah.
That would have put them inside the 20, I believe.
And that would have given him tons of offensive momentum. Having a play like that and consecutive great plays at Javon Bailey, the big run.
Especially with such a flashy play that would have brought a lot of energy to not only the sideline but also on the field.
Yeah. 8:01 left in the 2nd quarter. 1st down and 10 for the Mustangs at the Sequoyah 40. Let's see how Sequoyah responds to, although giving up a big play, let's see how they respond to the flag. See how Meadowcreek responds to the flag, too. A lot of flags on both sides of the ball.
It will remain 1st down for Meadowcreek, though.
Ellis in the shotgun. Louis to his left. 4 wide receivers out there. A pass to the slot. And that's going to be Andre Craig working his way around and is using his brute speed. Another flag. I believe that might be holding on Javon Bailey. And they are just...
Bretton Darling was the Chief who pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, great play by Darling there. Just constant flashes of yellow.
But again, more great speed from that Meadowcreek side. Not only they were able to push through physically, but when they find green space, they are able to take full advantage of it.
That's going to be holding.
Man, 3 penalties in a row, I believe, for
There have been at least 6 penalties on this drive for Meadowcreek. But yeah, you said it. When Meadowcreek gets in the open, that's hard to stop. We've seen this plain old talent and speed, amazing ability from these Mustangs to work this way. When they have green and 1 defender to beat, I would watch out. Ellis in the shotgun. I think it's about a 1st down and 19.
Still 1st down. That's about the only good news Meadowcreek does have.
And we saw them earlier. We had them the 1st down and 26, and they made up a lot of ground quickly. But here comes Ty Moore's blitzing. Attempted pass to Andre Craig, and he's going to drop it. Pressured by Ben Sanders.
I was going to say, even if Craig had caught that, Ben Sanders was right there. He would have been able to tackle him as soon as he got the ball. And it looks like Craig kind of just slipped there a little bit. The ball was right in his hands, but I think he slipped on the turf. And that made the ball fall away from him a little bit.
2nd down and 19 now. 7:31 left in the 2nd quarter. Ball on the Sequoyah 49.
So it's Meadowcreek, a possession where For every step they've taken forward, they've taken 2 back. They're looking to get within those orange stands down on the sideline.
4 receivers, and his ball is out. And the Chiefs do not fall on it. They toss it around, but it ends up being fallen on by a Mustang.
I believe that's Tayo Ogundele, who was right on it, and I saw him both saw him bobble it in his hands there, and it came out. And I think for Meadowcreek, it was Jordan Vang, the center, who was able to recover that one.
Good instinct by Vang.
So
to see the ball, Ellis is holding with one hand.
Meadowcreek able to just keep saving this drive.
Yeah.
It's gone on for about 5 minutes, I believe.
3rd and 26, a very common number right now, but not a good number if you're a Mustang fan. 3rd and 26 for Meadowcreek. And a far drop back, but there is Ty Moores. And a stoppage mid-play. Oh, yeah, that's right. I think in the spring game, for the quarterback, he is in blue. I believe it is 2-hand touch for Ellis. The ref saw that, and that's going to be a great 4th down.
So that'll go down as a sack?
Yeah, it's going to go down as a sack, I'm pretty sure.
That goes down for a sack for Ty Moores there.
Yeah.
Nice defensive play by him.
He's having a great game.
He's another one of those players that we've seen who's been reading those plays really quickly and reading whatever that quarterback's going to do. So pays off for him there. And we saw Tayo Ogundele and Nathan Pruitt get a combined sack earlier. So 2 sacks on the night for the Chiefs already.
So great pressure by the Chiefs. Great blitz. That's going to be a punt by Whitting, and it's going to get tipped around by Bell and called for a fair catch at about the 30. And that's going to be Chiefs ball. 4 consecutive stops for Sequoyah on the defensive side of the ball. However, 2 picks thrown by Scoggins. Last one gave up a very promising drive near the end zone. Let's see if he can redeem himself with this one. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Sequoyah on their own 30. Scoggins coming back out. 5:35 left in the second.
With just over 5.5 minutes left to go, Sequoyah really wants to put some points on their side of the board. Still 7-0 Mustangs, low-scoring affair since the very first drive of the game.
Handoff to Bell, and he is using his quick feet throughout this whole game to gain 6, and we have Jimmy Anderson, and I believe that is Javon Bailey out in the secondary getting physical. Pardon me, not Javon Bailey.
I think it is Javon Bailey. His jersey's rolled up a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe that is number 8, though. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the play.
Yeah, Mustang and Cameron Massey got a little bit mixed up there. It's going to be, however, a gain on the play by Tyler Bell for about 6, and it's going to be 2nd and 4 from the Chiefs 36. 4:48 left in the second quarter. A quick handoff to Chimanda, and he is breaking free for a 1st down. We've seen Chimanda get some quick runs early in this one.
He's for sure been a very explosive running back for the Chiefs tonight, getting lots of runs. And when he does get the runs, he's going for 6 or 7 yards each.
Yeah, completely ignoring what Teeter had to say about 4 yards is okay.
He's doubling it and then some.
Surpassing that. Ty Moores comes off the field for Sequoyah. Cameron Massey out to receive. And so is Hancock. 2 receivers out for the Chiefs. Scoggins going to hand it off to Bell, however. Puts his pads down and gains 3. 2nd down and 7.
And we talked pregame about how Coach Jackmine mentioned there might be some more in-the-air plays this year. We've seen, I think, 3 or 4 of those tonight. A couple of those have ended in interceptions, so that might be why Jackmine hasn't drawn up any more of those recently. But we've seen Massey out there, and then again we saw Hancock out there, so 2 receivers. So Sequoyah might be looking to try a passing play in the near future, and there's Ben Sanders out there.
Yeah, Ben Sanders has been playing receiver a little bit tonight. Scoggins, a handoff to Chimanda. No, pardon me, that's Tyler Bell, who's breaking free, and he breaks 2 tackles. Tyler Bell finally tripped up after a flag.
He's just tripped up by number
Tresmon
33.
Flag with the tackle.
And there is a flag on the play as well.
Tackle by Flag and a flag on the field. But Tyler Bell this drive and the past couple drives, explosive runs by the rising junior.
Yeah, but there was Tyler Bell breaking a couple tackles with himself. He was able to shake him off. It looked like he was about to be off to the races, but Tresmon Flag able to just get a hand on his cleat maybe and trip him up.
But I do believe the flag is going to be on Sequoyah because they are backing up.
So just when Meadowcreek or Sequoyah seem to have a good play, the refs throw their yellow flag out there and say, nope, something went wrong on that one.
Holding on the offense. That's going to ruin a big play, highlight play by Tyler Bell. However, from the spot of the foul, it is going to gain them some yards, it seems like. And that's going to be a timeout Meadowcreek, as they just gave up a big play. No matter the flag, that's a first down for Sequoyah. So we'll see what Coach Jack Mine and the offense have dialed up here. We've seen a lot of run plays recently, and you were talking about Scoggins and how he had thrown maybe 5 passes, but 2 of those, I'm pretty sure 2 have ended up in picks. And that's just something that a rising sophomore, freshman right now is going to have to deal with. The emotions, the nerves that come with playing football on a high school field in front of tons of fans. There's going to be nerves. There's going to be tension.
Yeah, but then when you see a play like that by Tyler Bell, a great running play, I mean, it almost doesn't make you want to try a passing play if you're going to be able to do that. And the Chiefs will certainly be able to create that gap up the middle. I think that's the main reason that Tyler Bell was able to get so many yards on that play, is because the gap was created up the middle for him. So.
And that's one thing we have to point out. The line is playing really well. The running backs are reading the gaps pretty well, but the line is playing amazing right now.
And not just that, but the quarterback, Hunter Scoggins, really hasn't been under much pressure at all tonight.
Yeah, that is a good point.
There hasn't been much blitzing. The O-line's just been doing a really good job of holding Meadowcreek in their spots, being the more physical guys.
Yeah.
And they're winning that battle so far.
But Sanders and I believe that is Massey out to receive.
Massey takes a step forward. He knew it immediately, so that's going to be a false start. That is a false start on Sequoyah.
Yeah,
so they'll be backed up a little bit more. And you can see Massey, he knew it right away. Yeah. He went a little early and got frustrated because that's not what Sequoyah needs right now.
So that's going to be first down and 15 now for the Chiefs on the 50-yard line. A big play coming up here, see if they can gain some yards to make it a more manageable 2nd and 3rd down. Scoggins under center. Massey and Sanders out to receive. Got Salazar, and I believe that's Bell in the backfield. A handoff to Salazar. He finds some open room, but he gets tripped up after a gain of 6. 2nd and 9. Pardon me, gain of 5. 2nd and 10.
And Javon Salazar, rising junior, is a name that we've called a few times tonight. Weren't expecting to call his name at all, but he's been getting some good reps in there at running back, getting a few yards here and there. So he's a name we might call more in that running back or fullback spot for the Chiefs.
2nd down and 10. Same receivers. Instead, it is Bell in the backfield. Pardon me, Bell in the backfield still, but I believe that is Chimanda, maybe. Pardon me, Luke McRae. A huge hit, and the ball might be on the ground, but there is a flag. I heard some helmet hitting.
I believe Taiwo Ogundele is the name you were looking for there, 46.
False start is the call. Play was not even off yet. That makes sense.
So 3 penalties in a row for Sequoyah there.
Yeah, shooting himself in the foot right now. Going to be 2nd and 15 after and that run by Salazar is diminished. 2:42 left in the 2nd quarter. Chiefs trying to have the last possession of the first half.
And even up the score here at 7. Meadowcreek is leading 7-0 right now.
Yeah, Sequoyah is very much in this game, only down by 1 score. Takes the handoff. Scoggins scrambles right. A quick pass to Taiwo Ogundele, and he gets through. for a gain of about 10.
That's a big play right there. You saw Scoggins dropping back in the pocket, not fazed by the pressure. We mentioned how Sequoiah's O-line had been doing a really good job of holding Meadowcreek in their places, but Scoggins, they're not fazed at all by the pressure, was able to dump it off to Taiwo, and Taiwo powered forward for a few yards of his own.
Ugundele with a gain through the air of, I believe, 10. That is right. 3rd and 5 now, a manageable 3rd down, a critical chance for the Chiefs to try to get some momentum this drive. Ben Sanders lining up at the wrong line, but the Chiefs are looking to convert here. Scoggins under center. Handed off to Bell, who has been successful, but he gets tackled quickly after a gain of 2, and that's 4th down and 3. And there might be another flag because Sequoyah is cheering.
Yeah, there's some celebration on the sideline. I wasn't sure what that was about. It looked like
I don't see a flag.
One of the O linemen, maybe? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I don't think they're going to give a flag. However, Sequoyah will go for it on this beautiful spring evening here at the end of May.
Yeah, beautiful sunset.
Very humid one, though.
Yeah, very humid.
Feels like fall. That's the nice thing about these spring games is they feel like fall. They get you back in that mood for spring football or fall football.
Sweep pass to Hancock, and that is going to be enough for the 1st down.
Nice conversion, nice 4th down conversion there by from Scoggins to Hancock with 5 seconds over a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, 1:35. That's going to be, 1:35 left in the 2nd quarter. And the Chiefs looking to score now. This is their best field position. But then last time they were near here, they had that pick by Scoggins. Let's see if he can redeem himself here.
Yeah, Chiefs. It seems like once they get inside their own half, that's when they start trying those passing plays.
Yeah.
So Meadowcreek might read that.
Quick blitz by the Mustangs, but that's a pass quickly to Ugundele by Scoggins, and he gets tackled out of bounds after a gain of maybe 8.
There you go. I called it. Passing play, and that's what happened. Taiwo, again, that's a similar play to what we saw drawn up a couple plays ago, where Scoggins drops back, finds Taiwo on that right side. Taiwo powers ahead for some yards of his own.
And they're leaving him open, and Scoggins is seeing it. Freshman to freshman connection, and that's a 1st down. And that's going to be move them into the best field position of the night. 1st down and 10 from Meadowcreek 15. And the Chiefs looking to tie this one up before we go to halftime. 1:24 left in the 1st half. Scoggins under center. 1 receiver out. That's Massey. Motion by Bell. A handoff to Hancock after many people pass by, and he is going to try to escape a tackle by Cordero, but he gets dragged down after 3. And timeout Sequoyah.
So they will use their 3rd and final timeout of the half. Meadowcreek still hasn't used any.
But yeah, a great drive right now by Sequoyah. And that's great composure by Scoggins because he threw that pick last time he was in the red zone. But now 2 consecutive passes to Ugundele, both completed for big gains. Freshman to freshman are really connecting right now.
Yeah, and if you're Coach James Teeter, patience is definitely a quality you want to see in a quarterback, whether he's a young one or an old one or even a new quarterback. The ability to drop back and not be worried, still follow the play and execute it perfectly is something that Coach Teeter is definitely going to take note of. And as well as you said, that freshman to freshman connection has been working out, has already worked out twice, and I have a feeling we're going to see it more even in the 2nd half.
And we get them for 3 more years. Going to be seeing Scoggins and Ugundele for a decent amount of more time. But the Chiefs are inside the 20. 2nd and 8. We got Massey out receiving on the top hash. Scoggins under center. And he's going to throw it. And he has Maria open downfield, but he ignores Maria. And a catch by Hancock.
Hancock was completely wrapped up by Bailey there.
But that was just a well-placed ball, and the only spot it could have been by Scoggins, showing some good ball placement. 55 and running, and a spike by Scoggins. 3rd down and 2. There was no gain on that Hancock pass.
That spike stops the clock at 52.5 with a 3rd down.
Yeah, oh, wait.
4th down, never mind.
That was 3rd down. That's right. That was 3rd down. A huge spike.
Critical last play coming up for the Chiefs.
A score here could really change momentum, change the field going into the locker room.
Max, especially considering that Sequoyah is going to be receiving the kick in the second half. So if they score here and if they score coming right out of the gate, out of the locker rooms, that could put them up 14-7 in 2 plays.
Here's the play. Scoggins rolling to his right and has Ty Morris in the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown, Sequoyah.
A beautifully drawn up passing play there by Coach Jackmine. Ty Morris was wide open. And beautiful pass from Scoggins.
Scoggins has been looking for him all game. A beautiful drawn-up play leaves Morris wide open. Mustangs frustrated in the end zone right now. What a play.
And we saw Ty Morris was one of those intended receivers when the ball was picked off by Meadowcreek. So for him to get that catch, especially being as wide open as he was, that's got to feel good for him.
And the extra point to tie this one up. See how the kicking goes. Daniel Cruz is through the uprights, and we have a tie ball game with 46 left in the first half. A good game, and Skip Pope right now in Canton, Georgia. Sequoyah Meadowcreek tied up at 7.
And Max, as we were saying, that's a very crucial touchdown for them, because not only does it tie them up with under a minute to go, it also could set them up really, really well coming out of the locker room in that second half, because they are going to be receiving the second half kickoff. So they could go up 14-7.
But Meadowcreek is going to get the ball with 46, and we saw them that first possession. They scored in maybe about 2 minutes, but that one play could happen any time, and that happened that first possession with Singleton. And with dangerous threats like Singleton and Louie out there, and Craig, anything could happen. So the Chiefs have to play physical defense and firm defense right now.
And Max, it's been a little hard to judge how Meadowcreek's offense plays, because it seems like they play pretty fast, but then they have 3 or 4 penalties or flags in a row that just keep dragging them back. So 46.5 is plenty of time for some teams. Wouldn't be enough mainly for a team like Sequoyah, but Meadowcreek may be able to put something together here heading into that locker room. Even if it's just a field goal, they could regain the lead.
A lead is a lead. So Meadowcreek only with 2 people back. Sequoyah's running after him. They're going to fair catch it and get the ball at the 30. So
I was thinking the field looked a little empty on that one.
Like,
there wasn't anybody on the field for Meadowcreek other than those 2 receivers.
So here come the Mustangs offense and the Chiefs defense. Mustangs looking to have a quick score right now and regain the lead at halftime. They could just knee it and go to halftime with a satisfied tie. Backfield, anything can happen.
And don't forget Singleton out wide receiver.
Yes.
Ellis and Singleton have really good communication. They can connect for some 10 to 20 yard passing plays, some long distance plays, so long as they're not prohibited by any Meadowcreek flags.
You got Bailey out there too, and Stokes. Ellis with 4 receivers out there, and Louie in the backfield. He's going to ignore Louie and launch it down the field. He sees Bailey beat, but that is Ben Sanders in coverage, and he gets mossed. Bailey down the field. Pardon me, that's not Bailey. That is Andre Craig. Andre Craig takes the ball out of the defender's hands, and just like we were saying, Will, they didn't even need the 46 seconds.
Yeah, they needed 12 seconds, apparently. And I guess Singleton is not the only target, and we should have known that. Craig has been a target as well for Ellis.
This team is full of talent.
Ellis really has that long-distance connection with all of his receivers, whether it's Craig, whether it's Bailey, or whether it's Singleton. And on that one, we saw Craig. Ben Sanders had phenomenal coverage on him.
Phenomenal coverage.
Craig was just able to reach over him and kind of moss him once more.
I mean, the only thing Ben Sanders could have done better is possibly jump, but I mean, besides that, I wouldn't have jumped if I were a
Besides that,
defender.
it's borderline penalty right there on pass interference. So
great,
good effort by Sanders, but Craig just more physicality on that one.
For 2. And Ellis is 2-hand touched by Moores, and that's going to be only a 6-point score. Wonder why they went for 2 there.
Leaves the door open for Sequoyah for sure.
Yeah. They're not a 30-second offense, but
we have seen them drive down the field quite fast in the past. However, on this spring game, they might not go for it.
This is the first game. We don't know how this offense plays.
We don't know the new face of the the new look of the offense yet.
Especially in we don't know how a 2-minute offense is going to look this season. We don't know. We haven't seen many passing plays besides that touchdown. So we'll see the kickoff happen for the Chiefs. And they're going to receive it from the Mustangs. 13-7 with 30.4 left in the second quarter.
So even if Sequoyah is not able to score right here, their first possession out of the locker room could still put them in the lead. So that's definitely good news for Sequoyah that Ty Morris was able to get that two-hand touch on Ellis.
So here comes the kickoff from Whitting. 13-7 lead for Meadowcreek, pardon me. And now it is actually Leandre Warren kicking for Meadowcreek.
Looking into the second half, we're probably going to see a lot more player substitutions.
Yes.
Some younger guys getting reps. I don't believe the freshman players are allowed to play on the Sequoyah side of the ball.
Yeah.
But we might see some of those rising sophomores.
Yes, a lot more.
Get some more playing time.
And Warren with the kick. And that's going to be caught off the bounce by
Cantrell Davis.
Yeah, Cantrell
number
Davis.
7.
And the Chiefs going to start this 27.7 second possession, pardon me, from their own 30. Let's see if they can do something. They might just kneel it. But what a possession by the Mustangs previously.
And with the Chiefs already giving up a couple interceptions tonight, I doubt that Coach Jack Mine is going to go to any passing plays just to protect from any possible interceptions and maybe even a pick 6 because, you know, Meadowcreek does have a lot of speedy guys, speedy and physical guys, which is that combo is a detriment to Sequoyah defense.
Yeah, we've seen those passing plays earlier with those picks. Although the most recent passes have been pretty successful with the touchdown included. Don't know what could happen with a dangerous secondary for the Mustangs, and they're just going to run it. Got a hole for Ben Sanders, and he's going to run for 8. And the clock is just going to tick on down.
So Sequoyah's going to have to run tempo if they want to get down the field, and it looks like they are going to attempt at least something.
They are in tempo. 10 seconds in running in this first half. See if they do something. Another run by Sanders. He has some room. He's trying to work his way around the field, but Mustangs surround him.
Ref getting caught up a little bit in there.
And he is just still getting tackled. No need for that. And still going on.
Pushing and shoving now from both sides as Sanders was dragged back a little bit farther than some of Sanders' teammates liked. Both coaches telling their players, get back to the benches, go in the locker rooms.
Yeah.
Half is done, half is over.
And good thing that was the end of the first half. The tensions can cool.
Tensions could have rose a little bit more than they were.
Really escalated there, but what a first half. The Chiefs are still in it, but right now, Meadowcreek a 13-7 lead. We saw that run game for Sequoyah really just grind it the whole time. But obviously the highlight has to be the passing play to Ty Morris. It was just insane.
Most definitely. I mean, we saw Sequoyah open it up a little bit more with the passing game. A couple interceptions there, but that passing touchdown is definitely a big highlight. And also a lot of nice running plays from Chamanda and from Hancock as well.
And from Bell.
And from Bell especially, yes. And even from Taiwo Ogundele there on the last Sequoyah, or the second to last offensive possession for Sequoyah in the first half. We saw Taiwo Ogundele get a couple really crucial running plays that were able to get in the first down and even set up that Ty Moore's touchdown.
Yeah, and I think that's something we're going to see because Scoggins and Ogundele have been playing together past couple of years, same class, so I think he's going to be looking for people in his class like Ogundele, but we've seen Bell with those big runs But running backs right now for Sequoyah having a great game. For Meadowcreek, it has been those explosive plays. First one to Singleton on the touchdown pass, and then we had Bailey. That was, I believe that was
Craig?
that was Andre Craig Jr. A huge pass. I think there was 42 seconds left. Insane for the Mustangs. But that will do it from us for the first half. We will see you after the halftime show, and we'll see you in the beginning of the second half. 13-7 your score. We'll get back to you after the break.
Welcome to the Max and Will Halftime Show. I'm Will Hogendijk.
And I'm Max Swain. Before we get started with our halftime show for the spring game, we would like to give a special thanks to Chase Schaefer.
Chase has been our biggest mentor and guide, and none of this would be possible without him. Thank you, Chase.
And now, let's get started with our show.
This past week, we had an incredible opportunity to talk with players and coaches in the first ever Chiefs TV Media Day.
Let's hear what our very own Coach Teeter had to say.
All right, please introduce yourself.
Coach James Teeter, head football coach at Sequoyah High School.
After losing new roles.
It's been a little challenging. We're working hard with them. We've done a lot of stuff. It's been a little challenging. We're working hard with them. We've done a lot of stuff. They just need to continue to what they're doing, and I think the scrimmage will help kind of change who's going to be there, or at least give us a better idea who's going to be there in the long run.
So, Coach, with Sequoyah sometimes being a streaky team, how do you keep up the energy in the locker room and on the field to keep the boys motivated?
You just got to keep preaching to them that if they just play the way we coach them and they do the things that they're asked to do, we'll be fine, and they'll be fine. And right now, our big thing we've talked about in the offseason is find a way not to beat ourselves. And if we don't beat ourselves, we'll be in every game. If we're in the game in fourth quarter, we give ourselves a better chance to win. We just can't make mistakes early and the things that kind of get us behind. So we just got to learn how to be a little more disciplined in not beating ourselves. And once we can do that, then everything else take care of itself.
All right. Could you talk about Carter Sant, losing Carter Sant from the team, and just how important he was to the team?
Carter was awesome. I mean, he was our defensive leader. It's a big loss for us. We still, want him around and want him to be a part of everything as much as he can. But as far as a player, that you're taking your best defensive player and he's now out on the field, and it's a huge loss defensively, and it's going to be hard to replace him. But we're going to throw some kids out there and hopefully they can get it done. But as far as all around, you couldn't have found a better kid, you couldn't have found a better worker, and a better leader than Carter.
So, Coach, with the regions getting realigned this year, we're seeing a lot more competition between Cherokee County teams. So what's your opinion on that? What do you think?
Oh, I like it. I think it'll be all in all, it'll be really good for the county. I think it'll be good for all the schools. We're here, and we usually play most everybody every year anyway. So I think it'll be really good for the county and something good for the kids.
Now let's see what Coach Jack Mine and his offense had to say.
Please introduce yourself.
Coach Jack Mine, offensive line.
All right, Coach Jack Mine. So the offense lost a lot of talent in the offseason. So what things are you going to experiment with in the spring game to help you kind of figure out the new look of the offense?
We're really going to simplify the number of plays we have and out formation people, gain leverage using formations. The spring is really about figuring out what you have and doing the basics the right way.
So
what do you think that Sequoyah can do better on this year as far as capitalizing on the aspects of that wing tee offense?
Yeah, the wing tee is an offense that you need all 11 guys to contribute for the play to be successful. Sometimes last year we would lack at certain positions on certain plays where, we call them 6-point blocks. 6 yards or 6 points, it can be the difference of one block. So we've got to have everybody execute through the echo of the whistle.
What new weapons does this freshman class bring?
This new freshman class has a lot of special dudes. I'm excited to get to see them. We've been coaching them up front this spring. Matthew Matz is a lineman that's going to be a special player, as well as tight end named Maddox, and a couple good running backs as well.
So how do the different plays you teach the team and incorporate into the game capitalize on the strengths of your players?
You know, with what we have, we're very quick up front. You know, we don't have a bunch of 300-pounders walking around our campus that are athletic enough to play for us. So, you know, we have to use that speed to our advantage, especially at guard. We have Jimmy Anderson and Tayo Agundale, and they kind of set the tone for us up front. You know, they can down block and they can be very physical, but we also like to get them out in space.
What new skills do these new QBs bring that you're excited to incorporate into the offense this season?
They're very disciplined at carrying out their fakes, and you know everybody talks about why the wing T. The wing T is a very it's an offense based on misdirection and carrying out fakes. You know, so these guys are doing great at running 20 yards down the field after a handoff. You know, messing with the eyes of the defense.
All right. Do you have anything else? That was
No,
all
I'm
quick.
good.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, please introduce yourself.
Ty Moores, 2023 senior, tight end DN.
So Ty, you've been a starting tight end since your sophomore year. How are you going to use that experience into your final year of playing?
You know, it just helps with like reps and stuff. You know, having the mental reps and the physical reps as well as practice for 3 years, and knowing a varsity field for 3 years, it helps in the long run. You know, because you're used to it, and you know, sure you still get nervous before the game, but it's not as bad. You know, it's not going to affect you.
All right, please introduce yourself.
Asante Chamanda, fullback, class of 2023.
So, Asante, as a rising senior, what are you going to do to kind of encourage and lead these underclassmen and new guys coming into the team?
I mean, it's our mentality, you know. You control your effort and you control your attitude. So, really just boosting the morale of the younger guys, you know, letting them know that they can do it.
Please introduce yourself.
Cruz Wright, I'm a senior. I play fullback and linebacker.
All right, so Cruz, losing such a big asset in Peyton Lucas leaves some pretty big shoes to fill on the offensive side of the ball. What are you going to do to step into the role of the running back and produce for Sequoyah?
I'm just going to have a positive attitude about it and just be a team player, so whatever they need, I get done.
All right. Please introduce yourself.
Cameron Massey, a rising senior.
You were one of our leading receivers last season. What kind of motivation does that give you going into your senior season?
Very positive about it. I just want to keep that energy and starting position, work hard.
Please introduce yourself.
Alex Conti, rising senior and quarterback.
So the spring game, what are you looking forward to the most?
Setting the tone for the season. We have a really tough schedule coming up, and I just want to see, you know, obviously there's going to be things we're going to learn from what we need to work on, and really just attack that over the summer.
And now, Coach Buddy and some of his defensive players.
Please introduce yourself. Defense had an outstanding year last year with 8 combined interceptions. What are you going to do to build on from last year to increase that number this season?
You know, more of the same. Try to get after the offense. Try to attack them a little bit more instead of playing passive defense. We want to be aggressive and blitz and put pressure on them. And then, you know, let the guys in the back end do what they do and go hunt the ball.
So do you have any players that you weren't anticipating that blew you away in the offseason on the defensive side of the ball?
Players that blew us away in the offseason, I think everybody really worked hard in the offseason. I think we're excited about the number of players that we have returning. You know, I think we returned 4 starters in the secondary with Ben Sanders and Ridley Joseph. And then at the safety positions, we bring back Darling and Hancock. And Hancock obviously led the team with 7 interceptions. Rowan Steele, you know, back at outside linebacker. Chris Pruitt. I thought Taiwo Agundale stepped up this offseason, and as a freshman, we're excited about him coming into a sophomore year. And Chris Jordan. I mean, Chris Jordan shows up every day and works hard and gets after it. So, you know, we're looking forward to those big things. And Brady Curl at nose, Ty Moore's at end, and, you know, with Ian Mariah stepping in and replacing him some, resting him, and Tayo and even some Leggetti on the D-line. I feel like we have a really strong defense.
So, Coach, we saw that the regions got realigned this year, and you're going to be facing a lot more Cherokee County teams. What are your thoughts on the competition?
You know, I think it's any Friday night anybody can win. I mean, you got to bring your A game every Friday. So, you know, if we come out and we're not ready to play on a Friday night, you know, it doesn't matter who it is. I think that, you know, where we're going to put ourselves behind where we want to be. So we just got to treat every game like it's the biggest game of the year, and we got to, you know, go out there and do our job.
So EEAF, you don't have to tell us what it means, but what does it mean for the team?
Well, I think it's something it's something that they should be able to do every day. It's something that they are in control of every day, and it's a rallying cry. We're not asking, you have so much ability. We don't ask you to, you don't have to be the fastest or the strongest, but these 4 things you're in control of every day of your life, and that's the main focus.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Please introduce yourself.
Brady Curl, Jr., defensive line.
So, Brady, coming off your sophomore season where you led the team with 2 sacks a game, how do you encourage your fellow linemen to play at the top of their game?
We just got to stick to our assignments, and that's basically what it is. You got to stick to your assignments and not mess up, or it's just bad stuff will happen.
All right, please introduce yourself.
I'm Chris Jordan. I'm going to be a junior, and I play linebacker.
As a rising junior coming off a great sophomore season, what are your goals for your junior season?
I'm looking to hold my starting spot in the lineup and hopefully just make a lot of plays this year and help our defense get even better than it was last year.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Jackson Hancock. I'm junior this year. Play safety and wingback.
So most people just play offense or defense one side of the ball, but you play both sides of the ball and you excel at both sides. So how do you manage to do that and perfect your game on both sides of the ball?
Really, on defense, it helps me on offense. Then on offense, it helps me on defense. So if you just put them both together, it helps a lot.
All right, do you want to end
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, please introduce yourself.
I'm Ridley Joseph. I'm a senior this year. I'll be playing the hybrid position. That means Sam and corner. I'll be playing a little bit of wide receiver too.
So, Ridley, with the region being realigned this year for Sequoyah, they're going to be facing a lot of different teams, especially ones from the Cherokee County area. Tell me about the competition you guys are going to be facing this year.
The competition is going to be hard, but we're going to bring it regardless because no matter what, if you're going to be a dog, you're going to be a dog. So nothing to me really, you know what I'm saying?
All right, please introduce yourself.
I'm Devin Beavers. I'm going to be a senior, class of 23. I play defensive end and tight end.
All right, so as DN and tight end, how are you planning to perfect your game over the offseason?
Definitely got to work on speed, getting the speed and get my hands right because at the positions I play, it's all about speed and hands. So that's what I'm going to work on the most.
All right, please introduce yourself.
Walker Beck, senior, linebacker, and guard.
As a senior, what are you going to do to be a leader on the team?
Just bring the energy at practice every day. Just fly around. Tell people that if you're going to mess up, do it 100%. And just, try to bring some fun into it because nobody likes it when everything's negative.
All right, please introduce yourself.
Nathan Pruitt, senior, and I play inside linebacker and outside linebacker.
What are you looking forward to most from the spring game?
I'm looking forward to get back into it. I was hurt at the end of last season. I'm just ready to put the pads back on, get back, just get back into it.
For the entirety of our first ever Sequoyah Chiefs Media Day, click the link in the YouTube description.
A popular question we asked was about the EEAF acronym that's circulating Sequoyah.
Stay tuned until the end of the third quarter for some of the Chiefs' guesses on what EEAF stands for.
That's all from us for now. Let's get back to the game.
And welcome back to the broadcast here on Chiefs TV, where we are following Sequoyah Chiefs versus the Meadowcreek Mustangs as we enter back into the second half. It is 13-7. Mustangs on top. 12 minutes set for the third quarter. And Sequoyah is going to be receiving the kick to start this half.
Yeah, so Sequoyah coming off a pretty good first half on the ground with some explosive passing plays, but really Meadowcreek kind of had the highlight first half with tons of passing plays and explosive plays. Singleton, 2 picks. Ellis, a bomb to Craig to end the first half. And that's how, obviously, how the second half ended, with Mustangs with the momentum as the kickoff. It's about to happen.
And penalties proved to be a really big issue for the Mustangs, as they had a really good offensive quarter, but it was thwarted a lot by a lot of the penalties they got, and they probably could have had a lot more scores on the board than the 2 they did. That the reason they have 13, they did go for a 2-point conversion. We're not able to get it, so that does leave the door open for the Chiefs. If they're able to get a touchdown, they will be and convert on their extra point. They can get back in the lead here, and with them having the first position, that is definitely a door that they do not want to have shut on them. As the Mustangs kick it off, and Hancock's going to be the receiver, and he will motion for the fair catch. And Sequoyah will send the offense out on the field. We saw Scoggins play quarterback for Sequoyah that whole first half. Not sure if it's going to be kept as Scoggins or if it might be someone different. Put that light on just so we can read our papers. Perfect. Scoggins, McRae. And it looks like Coach Teeter's going to change it up a little bit. So the rising junior Luke McRae is going to be under center this half, or at least this drive for Sequoyah. And McRae is under center. He has Hancock behind him, and he'll hand it off to Hancock. Hancock will go on the left side and gets tackled. Brought down at about a gain of 4 or 5 there.
And we saw the Chiefs really utilize their running game in that second quarter that led to the touchdown. Jack might running on the field right now, but
looks like he was picking something up, maybe a play card or a towel there. So McRae under center once again has Chamada and Hancock behind him, and he will choose to hand off to Hancock. Hancock's got some open room. He's going to get the first down and more, and he'll be tackled at about a tip of the arrowhead there for a gain of about 10, I believe. I think it's 10 exactly. A couple nice running plays to open it up for Sequoyah.
Yeah, and both running plays. The free safety has been playing a lot of offense.
Yeah, and we've also seen, we mentioned this first half, there's been a lot of different people who have tried out that running back spot. We've seen Sanders go there, we've seen Chamanda, we've seen Bell, we've seen even Taiwo Ogundele, and of course Hancock. So McRae's under center once more. Has Chamanda and Hancock behind him. Look to the sideline for play call. Lets the offense know. And he'll snap that one. And not quite sure who he handed that off to, but looks like there's a little bit of a mob on the Sequoyah logo. It's going to be, that was Asante Chamanda.
Brady Curl, and I'm pretty sure that might be, pardon me, that's actually Darian Cordero, and Brady Curl got a little bit physical right on the SC.
So Sequoyah's 1 yard into Meadowcreek's territory at Meadowcreek's 49. Chiefs lining up right on top of the logo. McRae under center once again, motions with that back leg, tosses it over to Hancock. Hancock's nice spin move is able to get a couple more yards out of it. He's still going, breaks a few tackles, and slams that one home on the ground. Another gain of 10 yards for Hancock, so he's gotten a few big plays already. Looks like there might be some more pushing and shoving.
Yeah.
As Antius J. Stokes over there from Meadowcreek was behind that Sequoyah bench there.
We've seen a lot of tension so far in this game.
Yeah, there's been a bit of competitiveness from both sides. Both sides certainly happy to be back in the pads and showing it with how physical they're being. McCray once again under center. Chimanda and Hancock behind him. He'll hand it off. Actually, he's going to, I know he did hand it off.
To Bell on that one.
It looked like he was dropping back,
Yeah,
but
it
he fooled everybody, including me.
What I've noticed is McCray's fakes have been much more, I guess, people have been falling for them much more, even the players in the field.
Yeah, and especially to us, because when he fakes, he turns his back toward us, so we can't. It's hard to see until after we see Meadowcreek players going after whoever's got the ball. 2nd and 9 for Sequoyah now. McCray under center. He's going to keep it this time, throw it out to Ben Sanders, and it's going to be blown dead by the referees.
Two-hand touch. Mustangs got him in the backfield. Yeah, it's going to be a sack. First one of the day for the Mustangs.
And it's going to be whoever's wearing number 9 for Meadowcreek. We don't have him listed on the roster, but a sack for him nonetheless.
He's been playing pretty well this whole game.
It's kind of tripping us up with those two-hand touches because the play will be blown dead, but the quarterback will have already thrown it, so we're not sure what happens there. We've seen that a couple times on the Meadowcreek offensive side of the ball where Sequoia's defense has gotten sacks. I think Ty Moores already has 2, and then Ogundale and Pruitt, I believe it was, combined for 1.
But now it's a 3rd down. Let's see if they're going to go through the air again.
Third and about 13 or 14 for McCray, and he's going to hand that off right up the middle to number 40, Javon Salazar. And Salazar was another name that we saw get a few reps in the first half. And, you know, he didn't have as many as, say, Chimanda or Hancock, but when he did, he did something like that. We ran up the middle, got 4 or 5 yards. Almost got the first down for the Chiefs, too. 4th and 1, I believe. Yeah, 4th and 1 for the Chiefs, so no reason not to go for it, even if it was a regular season game. This is, however, a spring game, so McCray's going to be
Ridley Joseph out to receive now for Sequoyah.
And that one's handed off immediately to Salazar, and Salazar's immediately swallowed up by Meadowcreek defense. Number 35, Kieran Slappy, tied Salazar up right after Salazar received the ball. And that'll be turnover on downs for Sequoyah, so Mustangs are going to have the ball.
Another promising possession, another promising look for the Chiefs. But this defense for the Mustangs is just coming up and showing up in the perfect positions, perfect times. Now we're going to see Ellis and the Mustangs, who last time they were on the field had the bomb to Craig. Let's see what they can.
It only took them 12 seconds to get a touchdown last time they were on the field. And then they did try that 2-point conversion, weren't able to get it, but they did gain back their lead, 13-7 for them now. And Ellis back in the pocket. He throws immediately to Louie.
And
Sequoyah players go for it, but the referees are going to say it was an incomplete pass to Louie.
Everyone thought that was behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, everyone thought that was a backwards pass.
Regardless, good job on the Sequoyah defense for playing until the whistle, because that, I mean, if that wasn't blown dead, they could have ran that back for a touchdown. There was 4 of them there, so there would have been blockers and the person running it for sure. Instead, it's 2nd and 10 for Meadowcreek. Ellis in the pocket, 3 receivers on the far hash, and he'll throw one out. Not sure who that is, but he makes the catch at the 22.
Javon Bailey, another great catch for the rising junior.
The 48, excuse me. Javon Bailey, and he was actually the one who, I thought it was him who had that 12-second touchdown.
That was Craig. I can understand how you get mixed up. There's so many talented players on this Mustang squad.
And receivers as well. There's 3 or 4 that have a lot of speed, a lot of physicality, and they look the same when they're running all down the field. Another play blown dead by the referees. It's going to be a false start on Meadowcreek, so that'll give them back. And right when we thought they were setting up for a good drive, they get a penalty, and it brings them back. We saw that too many times in the first half for them. They had I would guess probably 10 penalties and a lot of yardage per each penalty. They had 2 personal fouls, so that certainly was felt on the Meadowcreek offensive side of the ball. Ellis now takes a snap, throws it over to Singleton. Singleton jukes out a couple Sequoyah guys, and he'll get to the 45-yard line. That will bring up a 3rd and 6 for Meadowcreek.
And we've seen it all night from Singleton. Even when he catches the ball almost at the line of scrimmage, his ability just maneuver past defenders, use his quick feet, great hand skills.
And the ball's run up the middle by Meadowcreek, and they're going to get that first down. And then a little bit, 3 or 4 more yards. Armani Rodriguez, first time we've called his name tonight. Or excuse me, Jordan Louie. Not the first name not the first time we've called his name. Jordan Louie gets a run up the middle to get Meadowcreek the first down. They're going to move quickly here. Ellis in the pocket, throws it over to Craig. Craig catches it, and he's got real estate, and that's going to be an easy touchdown for Meadowcreek.
I believe I saw a flag on the field. Maybe a block in the back. I see Bailey and Stokes over there. But man, Craig and his speed.
There was 4 Chiefs around him too. He was just able to find the gaps, as running backs are always able to do. Holding against Meadowcreek, so that nullifies the touchdown. Another big break on Sequoyah as a result of a Meadowcreek penalty. So Meadowcreek's going to be dropped back a little bit more.
And we've said it a lot this game. Penalties have really been Meadowcreek's demise and really has prevented them from pulling away. The 6-point ball game has really been summarized by big plays and penalties.
And Ellis takes the snap. He's got 3 receivers downfield. He chooses the one on the left side. And, oh, it bounces off the Sequoyah defender. Meadowcreek receiver not able to come up with it. Looks like he might be holding his leg a little bit. He does get up.
Yeah.
Glad that he's okay.
And the Chiefs
nice coverage there.
Yeah,
I think
Ben
that
Sanders.
was Ben Sanders. Yeah, so nice coverage from Sanders there to keep.
Cannot tell who that is. That is Singleton.
Singleton from catching it. That's
a
especially a good job. Singleton is one of the best offensive players Meadowcreek has.
But he is limping out of the end zone.
That's not something you want to see if you're a Meadowcreek fan. He's one of your best players right there.
Never a good sign. But yeah, great defense by Ben Sanders, and we saw Jackson Hancock coming to help. Ben Sanders has been playing really well in the secondary the second half. We've seen him play a lot of offense, which he did not do much last season.
5:36 left to go in this third quarter. Mustangs still on top, 13-7. A 2nd and 11 for Ellis and the Mustangs. And he hands it off to Louie, and Louie is found by a few Chiefs, but he's still up. And then he's brought down. No, he's still up. He is still up, and now he's powering forward. Great job by Louie to stay in that play. There was at least 6 Chiefs that got a hand on him at least.
Yeah, but I can already tell you in the film, Coach Buddy is going to have a long talk about tackling. About 6 different Chiefs got their hand on Louie and just let him go. With a player like Louie, you have to grab him fully, have to wrap him around, and drag him to the ground. But with a player like Louie, it's always hard to do that.
Yeah, I mean, he was brought back as far as Meadowcreek's own 45,
at least,
but then made it back over the center line. No positive yardage, so I guess that's good news for Sequoyah, but certainly could have been a lot more negative yardage when you look at it.
So this is a big play for Sequoyah. They can't let up the big one here.
I believe it's going to be 3rd and 20 for Meadowcreek. So after a touchdown that didn't count because of a holding call, I think it was, Meadowcreek at 3rd and 20 needs to make something out of this drive if they want to increase their lead here. Ellis steps back in the pocket, fires over to Craig. Craig is open, and he makes the catch. Wow, what a catch by Craig there.
Coverage by Ridley Joseph He might have gotten there a little bit late, but that was great coverage. He had his hand right in this passing vision.
Yeah, similar to Ben Sanders. I
Yeah.
mean, he was right with him the whole time. That's just great,
Great.
receiving by Craig there. The fact that he was still able to come up with it.
Yeah, we saw him do it earlier with Sanders. You have to be completely on him. Craig has speed. You can lose him easily, but you have to stick with him.
So Ellis takes the snap, hands it off to Louie, and Louie will run forward for the easy 2.5 yards to get another touchdown for the Mustangs. So 16-7 now your score here at Skip Pope Stadium.
19-7.
19-7, sorry.
And they're going to go for the extra point this time. I wonder what made them go for 2 last time. But obviously, Coach Wofford did not like how that 2-point conversion ended up last time.
I think they might have gone for that 2-point conversion just kind of as security points, just in case Sequoyah did come out firing outside the locker room into the second half and score a touchdown, just so that Meadowcreek could still have the lead. However, the Chiefs did not get a touchdown, so Mustangs with a chance to make it 20-7 here with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in this third quarter in this spring game. And that one is booted right through the uprights. So Meadowcreek 20, Sequoyah Chiefs 7, 3 minutes 50 seconds left to go here in your third quarter as the Sequoyah special teams and Meadowcreek special teams will head out on the field.
And what a stop that was, just looking back. Sequoyah on that 4th down when they had the possession. That was a critical play because obviously that gave full momentum to Meadowcreek. But besides that, Sequoyah was in this game, but now it's 13 points as the deficit.
And Sequoiah's certainly not out of it yet. We've seen the Chiefs be able to put together really good plays. They haven't been able to capitalize on many of them, but they've gotten down the field relatively quickly considering they play the wing T offense.
Yeah.
They've definitely had enough chances for themselves. We've obviously seen a couple of those plays or a couple of those drives end in interceptions, but Sequoiah's created the opportunities. They just need to capitalize here. A low kick from Meadowcreek is going to be fielded by Jackson Hancock, and he will toss it over to the White Hat. So Sequoiah's going to take over at the 30-yard line.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they come out. We saw a lot of runs last possession, a couple of short passes, just like usual. Maybe they're going to go through the air a little bit more. We saw Scoggins early in the game. I don't think he's going to be coming back in as McCray is coming on the field. They're trying to find their footing in the second half with a new QB.
And, you know, Max, something about this wing T offense is that field positioning doesn't always necessarily matter. Obviously, you want to be in pretty decent starting field positioning, but with wing T able to move down the field slowly but surely, field positioning isn't necessarily something that they're always worried about because they're more focused on beating the clock and small running plays. So McCray under center again. He'll toss it off to Cantrell Davis. A big flag throw.
Yeah, all refs.
That referee, that was a pretty impressive throw right there.
I would watch out, QBs. There's a ref out there who can chuck those flags. But that was a big throwdown. I'm pretty sure he might have been a face mask, but if not that, definitely a personal foul.
Cantrell Davis is another name we've called a couple times now tonight. That was him on that running play. We've seen him on another one earlier tonight. So Coach Jackmine really diversifying who he's going with on these running plays. We've seen Chamanda, we've seen Bell, we've seen Hancock, Cantrell Davis there. Even Ben Sanders as well, who's typically a defensive player, but getting some offensive reps. And that's another thing about Sequoyah. They do have a lot of guys that play both sides of the ball.
Yeah. We saw it last year with Trainer. We see this year with Hancock. And in the interview, in the media that we had with him, he said both of the sides of the ball just kind of complement each other and they work together.
That's exactly right. So the handoff is going to be to Hancock, I believe, and he's going to power forward for about 5 yards, I think. That's going to be Javon Salazar on the run, excuse me. So he'll get some more yards. He's another name that we've been calling for some running backs. Salazar's gotten a few reps here and there. So McCray still the quarterback that Teeter's going with in the second half. Only seen 2 quarterbacks this game. Scoggins in the first half, McCray in the second half.
Tyson Omer out to receive now.
And McCray hands that one off.
And that's going to be Nesbitt on the field.
And Will Rejecki gets a first down for Sequoyah. So Sequoyah moving pretty quickly here. 2 minutes, 41 seconds left to go in this third quarter.
Will Rejecki is a rising freshman. He is going to be an insane force out of the backfield in the upcoming years. But we have a new QB, Jackson Nesbitt, the rising junior.
Nesbitt steps back into the pocket, throws it over. Nearly intercepted by number 22 on Meadowcreek.
And that was a good ball, just.
Yeah, we saw Nesbitt roll out of the pocket and almost throw it immediately.
Yeah.
So moving quickly by Nesbitt, that's definitely good to see, but nearly intercepted.
And right back onto the field comes McCray. One attempt for Nesbitt, and Jack Mine takes him off. Omer out to receive again for the Chiefs.
So McCray's going to hand this one off. I think that was handed off to Carter Heyman, the rising junior. It's now 3rd and 7 for the Chiefs. McCray still the quarterback. And he's now under center. He'll hand that one off to number 17, Anthony Santana. Santana will...
And a helmet comes off.
Santana goes forward for a couple yards, and now going to be 4th and 4. And Nesbitt getting subbed back on. So Teeter mixing up who he wants on quarterback. Maybe could be depending on if he wants a passing play or running play. The one play we did see Nesbitt for, it was a passing play. So we might see another passing play here on 4th and 6. And he does roll out into the pocket, and he throws it. It is caught by Santana, but brought down immediately by Meadowcreek. So that's going to be a turnover on downs for Meadowcreek.
And Nesbitt did not look happy. He kind of just went with his first receiver that he looked at.
And that was the same play that we saw him on for the last 2. So he's had 2 plays, one incompletion and then 1 completion. Both the same play. He rolled out to his right and then threw to his right. Not able to get any positive yardage on either play though. So Sequoyah defense is going to be sent out onto the field. And Meadowcreek offense to meet them with 1:12 left to go in your third quarter.
But that was a big stop by Meadowcreek. I mean, if Sequoyah responded there with a score, we would still have a ball game in our hands, and we still do. But right now, momentum is all going towards Meadowcreek right now.
Again, Sequoyah creating a lot of chances for themselves, just not able to capitalize, whether it's turning over on downs or a couple interceptions, but really not those interceptions so much anymore. We saw those 2 pretty early in the first, but other than that, they've been able to lock down on that. You know, their 1 touchdown was a receiving touchdown, so it's good to see that not every time they throw it in the air, they have to worry about it getting intercepted.
That's going to be a timeout by the Mustangs as they get the ball on 1st and 10. 20-7 your score with game. Meadowcreek just has talent all across the board. Power 5 talent at that.
And right now on the video board, the EEAF video is playing. EEAF is, we don't exactly know what it is quite yet. It's something that the football captains have come up with. And during our media day, Max and I asked all the players we interviewed what they thought it meant. No one got it exactly.
Yeah, we've been told no one got it actually right. I thought there were actually a bunch of good guesses.
There was a lot of good guesses, anything from excellence, effort, family, fun, attitude, all kinds of different things. So we will know this fall, but it's the big question of the summer. All the coaches said that it's going to be a rallying cry, something that the players can do and control every day. So the new rallying cry for the football team, EEAF, we will let you know what that means in the fall. We don't even know ourselves what it means. But when we do, we will be sure to fill you in. Jackson Nesbitt, the quarterback on the field for the Chiefs. The third different quarterback we've seen this game. We've seen Scoggins, who played the entire first half, and then a mix of McCray and Nesbitt here in the second, as Nesbitt will hand that one off.
That's Eli Jurgensen, rising junior, his first carry of the night.
And his first carry is a pretty nice carry. He gets about 4 or 5 yards, something that Coach Teeter would be plenty happy with. And that sets up a 3rd and about 4, I believe. And now McCray is back in that QB spot, and he's under center as well. And he'll hand that one off to Cantrell Davis. Cantrell Davis will find a hole on that left side, and he's still going, breaks a couple tackles. So he'll get the first down and then about 5 yards. Nice run from him.
Yeah, some good running right now for Sequoyah.
And Jackson Nesbitt coming back on. So Coach Teeter going a little bit of every other on these plays for Sequoyah quarterbacks.
Reviving that run offense Sequoyah is right now. Let's see if they can capitalize on this turnover they got.
So Nesbitt under center, and he's going to throw that one. And that's caught for Sequoyah, touchdown. Number 85, Dylan Mitchell. And Sequoyah scores a touchdown.
Wide open. Another tight end rolling out to the left corner. And these QBs are finding him wide open.
And that's the same thing that we've seen Jackson Nesbitt do 3 out of the 4 plays that he's been on. Just roll out, throw it to his left. So very nice reception there from number 85, Dylan Mitchell, the rising junior. A junior-to-junior connection this time. We saw the sophomore-to-sophomore connection with Taiwo Agundale and Hunter Scoggins in that first half. And now Nesbitt's going to be the placeholder for the kicker. And that one's going to sail through the uprights. So it's Mustangs 20, Chiefs 14 here in the 4th quarter. So Sequoyah starting the 4th quarter off with a bang.
Yeah, we got a 1-score game, Will.
Yeah, they're now within 6 points. So if Chiefs can put up another big stop on defense here, maybe get some help from some Meadowcreek penalties, although hopefully not, because when Meadowcreek has penalties, their possessions usually take up 5 or 6 minutes each time.
They're going to need as much time as they can get, because obviously their wing T offense, besides those rare big pass plays like those to the end zone, it's more of a slow offense. We've talked about it all game. The wing T is quite the offensive philosophy. But now we're going to see if this passing defense for Sequoyah can finally hold up Ellis. That turnover was a great job by this defense, kind of a lucky grab. They've gotten to Ellis all game, and they've kind of forced a lot of pressure on him. But now we're seeing a different QB. That's Marcus Mitchell, Jr. for Meadowcreek.
And for Meadowcreek, it's been pretty easy to spot who those QBs are. As for some reason, they're the only ones wearing a light blue jersey. The other team is wearing a white jersey. But regardless, it's been really easy to find out who is who as far as the Meadowcreek side of the ball. Who did you say it was? Marcus Mitchell. So that snap goes over Mitchell's head, and he has to recover it. And multiple Chiefs coming after him. And I believe the refs are going to say someone got 2 hands on him.
And that's not the way you want to start if you're a Mustang fan.
No, it's not. But that's a big break for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That's a really big loss. Loss of about 10 yards. And that's now 2nd and 20 for Meadowcreek. Not the way you wanted to come out, knowing that you're only down by 6. And it's not even a one-possession game, really, because a touchdown would give Sequoyah the lead. And, you know, looking back to the first half, that 2-point conversion, the failed 2-point conversion at the end of the end of the first half might have been something that the Mustangs should have just gone with an extra point on. Regardless, Mitchell dumps that one off to his right, and Sequoyah is able to quickly swallow up that Meadowcreek player.
I believe that might have been Mason James.
So positive yards on the play, I think.
Give me a timeout, Meadowcreek.
It looks like 5 yards on the play, so it's still going to be 3rd and 15.
So yeah,
for Meadowcreek.
We've seen those long third downs converted for Meadowcreek the whole game. They've just been exploding with big plays. Ellis, it has been Ellis as the QB the whole game, but now we have Mitchell. See if he can spark some fireworks.
You are right, Max. We have seen a lot of really third and very longs for Meadowcreek. We've seen I think we've seen a couple 3rd and 26s. That one was a 3rd and 20. A lot of 3rd and 20 somethings for Meadowcreek, but somehow they've been able to stay in it, get big passing plays. We'll see what Mitchell does. Mustangs could really use Mitchell to work some offensive magic for them right now. 6:30 left in the fourth quarter of the game. Mustangs on top, 20-14. In what's been a very entertaining spring game. It's been a little quiet without the Sequoyah band here. Student sections not as loud as usual. As Mitchell goes to heave one.
Wow.
And
that's
he
gonna
was
be a stop.
Michael Silva, I believe, got the sack on that one.
There's a Chief who's jumping on Mitchell.
Yeah,
there.
he came right up and almost bear hugged him, really.
But that's a huge play. It's going to be 4th down and 20. Not going to go for this one. They're going to give the ball to, I believe, Leandre Warren to punt it.
That was a huge defensive stop by the Chiefs. They didn't let him get any positive yardage except for that one play by Mason Jones, who was able to get 5 yards, but that didn't help anything because it just went from a 3rd and 20 to a 3rd and 15. So negative yardage on every play for Sequoyah.
And a huge chance to grind the clock, run the clock out, and run their type of offense to take the lead in this last portion of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, this punt could still end up on the Sequoyah side, or the
Meadowcreek
side of the ball, which could be very good, which is very good news for Sequoyah.
I believe it does. Oh, it runs past him. But nonetheless, 45-yard line, starting field position on Sequoyah side of the field. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, Tyler Bell not able to catch it on that one, so it did roll past him a little bit. So Sequoiah's going to start just past the logo. Still very good field positioning, though. We saw them on the touchdown drive. They started from, I think it was their own 15, and they worked their way down the field slowly but surely. 4 minutes, 55 seconds left to go. Meadowcreek Mustangs on top, 20. Sequoyah Chiefs trailing by 14, with Sequoiah's offense being escorted out onto the field.
And the ref's looking for a ball right now. We need that to play. And they finally got one.
And it's going to be Anthony Wolf, rising sophomore, is going to be the quarterback. So the fourth quarterback we've seen for Sequoyah. Anthony Wolf getting his first snaps of the game. He's going to roll out, look for a passing play. He finds one in Brett Piescores. Piescores not able to come up with it. I didn't realize that Jack Piescores had a younger brother.
Yes, he does. A rising sophomore, freshman this year. And that was another freshman to freshman attempt right there. Wolf to Piescores.
And Wolf's going to get a second snap on this drive. A close play. Piescores was nearly there, just out of his hands.
Yeah.
Would have been, and he had some green area too, so he would have been able to get some extra yardage, but.
And that was a really fast ball. So even if Pisors was there, it would have been a really hard ball to catch. And a nice run.
Javon Salazar got that one, and he goes up the middle. That one kind of fooled me a little bit.
We've heard his name a lot tonight. Javon Salazar has been getting a lot of runs, kind of taking the spot for Cruz Wright, as him and Chamanda, I mean, not Cruz Wright, Peyton Lucas in the backfield, as him and Chamanda have really been the prime fullbacks this game.
Yeah, and Salazar seems to be like a one and done. He does his one run for each drive and then gets subbed out. So Wolf still under center. He'll hand that one off up the middle to Rajecki, and Rajecki's going to power forward. He'll get the first down and 6 extra.
And he is only an 8th grader right now. He is in middle school, and he is powering some high schoolers across the field. He is a beast, and we get him for 4 more years.
He's had 2 nice runs,
yeah,
and I believe the only 2 plays he's been put in, so bright future ahead for Will Rajecki. .224, time winding down for the Chiefs.
I think that Meadowcreek just took their final timeout.
Sequoyah still in great field positioning here with a great first down run from Rajecki.
Yeah, and that's one thing we get to see from the spring game. We get to see what talent the Chiefs have coming up. Some rising sophomores, rising freshmen. The future is looking bright. Some very bright spots on defense and on offense.
And as we said pregame, freshmen aren't usually people we see on the varsity team, but you never know. Rajecki with 2 nice reps there in the second half already, 2 nice runs there, even one for a first down. So maybe he's a name we might be saying and calling for the Sequoyah varsity team. So 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Jackson Nesbitt, new quarterback for Sequoyah. Wolf doing his job to get a first down. And Nesbitt looking for the passing play, and he fires over to Tanner Davis, and Tanner Davis is going to run ahead, so very nice play there.
Wow.
Connection from Nesbitt to Davis.
And that ball was almost taken out of the sky by, I believe that was Gary Drones. There was a Mustang right there. A perfect placement right where it needed to be by Nesbitt, and he is showing his passing skills right now.
Yeah, Nesbitt's connected with quite a few passes, including the second touchdown for Sequoyah. Nesbitt under center now. He's going to keep that one himself, go up the right side, and spike it.
Honestly, not a bad idea there. He felt the pressure. Great awareness right there. I don't know if Jack Mine's going to like that, but as a viewer, a spike right there was necessary.
So under a minute 30 to go now. Under a minute 30 to go. Nesbitt still Teeter's quarterback of choice. We've seen 4 different quarterbacks. They've all done their jobs. Nesbitt now under center. He's going to roll back into the pocket, and he's going to get slipped up. I think he slipped on the turf. So it's going to be a loss of yardage with 1 minute and 3 seconds left to go. It's really coming down to the wire here.
Yeah.
Chiefs have a big opportunity to tie it with a touchdown, win it with an extra point possibly.
But they have a big third down and about 20. So
yeah, and you got to wonder which quarterback Teeter's going to go
Yeah,
with.
what-
I mean, we've seen Scoggins, who we only saw in the first half, so I don't think it would be him. I think it's got to be Nesbitt. I mean, he's the one that's shown the best arm strength. Wolf, we did see for a few of those plays to get the first down. He did his job.
I don't think it's going to be Wolf. He had that only was in for like 1 or 2 plays. I think it might be McCray or Nesbitt. Let's
Yeah,
see what he
McCray or
chooses.
Nesbitt have been the favorites for Teeter in the second half, and it looks like it's going to be Nesbitt. Nesbitt, again, I think he's done the best job so far of showing off his arm strength. We saw him with that nice connection to move Sequoyah up about 10 or 15 yards.
And we have not seen Cruz right that much this game, but he is out there on the field with Nesbitt on this third down and long.
So we might see a running play up the middle. We might see a passing play.
This might be fourth down territory if you're Coach Teeter.
Sequoyah can do a lot with Jackson Nesbitt under center, and he's going to throw that one over, looking for Rajecki. Rajecki does not
Wow.
get it on this one.
I believe he was sacked. The two-hand touch, I think Nesbitt was sacked in the backfield.
It's 4th down. The clock is ticking, under a minute to go. Sequoiah's got to make a decision quickly. Presumably the last play of the game. Sequoyah could win it right here. They got a lot of ground to make up. See Cantrell Davis coming onto the field. You got to think if he's maybe going to be a receiver. We've seen him on the offensive and defensive side of the ball tonight already.
And Sequoiah's going to use their last timeout with 35 seconds left. Down by 6. Inside, just at the 35.
Looks like Jackson Nesbitt's in that huddle of players. So 35.9 seconds left to go. It's really coming down to the wire here.
Yeah, well, I mean, what a time for these QBs. I mean, it's a spring game, and for all these players, it's just trying to get back into football. But this could really change attitudes about how the season's outlook and how the season could go.
And it could also be a great resume builder for whoever's in pursuit of that quarterback spot.
Yeah.
We've already seen 4 guys, and obviously Conti is one of those guys that's also pursuing it. He was not able to play tonight. He had a little bit of an injury. So at least 5 people we know that Teacher's considering just based on who he's put in.
And just having 2 quarterbacks to decide from is difficult. 5 different quarterbacks, and even 6. We haven't seen the freshman quarterback, Colby Martin. 6 possible quarterbacks for Teeter. But here's the 4th down.
For now, he's going to go with Nesbitt. Nesbitt under center, 4th and very long for Sequoyah, and it's a drop snap. And Will Rajecki has it. He's running, and he gets tackled. So Will Rajecki able to salvage a bit of a play, but it's not going to be enough. Sequoiah's not going to get the first down. And the clock is running past 30 seconds. So disaster on the last play, strikes for Sequoyah as Nesbitt dropped the snap. Rajecki recovered it, but was not able to get enough yardage to get the first down. It looks like they're going to let the clock run out. Teams will line up to shake hands. So your final score tonight is going to be the Meadowcreek Mustangs 20, Sequoyah Chiefs 14. So after Meadowcreek scored a very early touchdown, we didn't see much scoring for, I believe, it was the rest of the first quarter. Then Sequoyah finally got on the board near the end of the second quarter, and the Mustangs scored in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Leaving Sequoyah with only 30 seconds to work with. Sequoyah wasn't able to get anything. They did score on a Nesbitt pass.
Yeah. Honestly, these obviously aren't the full rosters for each team, but honestly, great performances by both squads. I'm very impressed by the Sequoyah run game and their resilience on the ground. They didn't give up. We know that with the wing tee, they're going to keep on running until they tire out that defense. I'm very impressed by Tyler Bell. I'm very excited to see what he can do in his junior season. Obviously, Jackson Hancock and Asante Shamanda, he had a great game too. But for Meadowcreek, I mean, what can you say? It's a full roster, full of talent. Dozens of offers. We talked about it all game. Just those bomb passes from Ellis to Craig and to Singleton. A bright season for Wofford's squad. We'll see how it goes for the Mustangs if we see them later in the season.
Yeah, Meadowcreek certainly has a lot of star power on their side of the ball. Sequoyah did a great job of staying with them. Penalties definitely hurt Meadowcreek throughout the game. A lot of pre-snap penalties, even for Sequoyah too, though.